So the first part in preprocessing is importing the libraries. So the very first and important part of data preprocessing is importing the libraries. Libraries are imported in the format given below in the code line. The first library that we have imported is pandas. So pandas is used for data exploring and cleaning. After that we have imported the numpy, which is used for implementing large data arrays, functions and mathematical functions in our dataset. Next we have to import matplotlib and seaborn that are used for plotting graphs for the better visualization. After that, we have to import our dataset. So the next task in data preprocessing is to import a dataset. So for importing the dataset, first we have to know the location of our data, that where it is stored in our device. After that, we have to use our pandas library to call the function read underscore csv, from which we can import our dataset that is given below in the code line. After that, after importing the dataset, our next job has to be checking and cleaning our dataset. So this is the most important step towards the data exploration, because if we do not clean our dataset and just working on it as it is, there will be a lot of mistakes and inaccurate data. So there will create a lot of problem in implementing our model on it, and as it will lead to some useless results. So that's why we have to clean our dataset. So in the first part in cleaning the dataset is checking the null values. So these values are of no use and it is very important to eliminate these values. So this can be done through the below code. After checking null value, the second step in cleaning the dataset after eliminating null values is dropping the duplicate values. So as duplicate values will mislead our exploration of dataset and might lead to some inappropriate results. So it becomes important to drop these values. This can be done by using the below code that is given here. After that, the last step in data cleaning or data checking is the unique values. So basically unique values are the values that are present in our data and helps a lot in selection of model and other data visualizations. So for checking the unique values, the code is given here. So that's how we can pre-process our dataset.
Hello, our topic is dataset examination. In dataset examination, the primary thing to do is exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis consists a number of steps which needs to be followed. Starting with importing the dataset. Here I have used two datasets. The first one is the PIMA dataset. The second one is the IRIS dataset. So including the dataset is a one command option, and which can be done through these commands. Then the second step involves observing the first 5 rows of the dataset imported, which can be done using this command. Now we need to do an analysis about the shape of the dataset, and then we can get the statistics about our data frame, which can be found using the describe function. Here I've used the transpose this because so that we can directly get the features about all the columns. And now we check the correlation among different columns of the data frame. So here we can found like the correlation between one column and the same column is always one. And now we get the information about the data frame. So dot info, this function gives the uh, data type of each column of the data frame, and also the information about the null values. Thank you. Hello everyone. In this video, I will be discussing about the approaching ML problems, particularly model selection and hyperparameter selection. Model selection is a very tedious process for investigating any ML related problem. Uh, it basically involves selecting a best machine learning model out of some candidate models. This can be chosen by selecting a model which performs the best over a given training dataset. This may include either selecting over different types of model or selecting a single model and then choosing over different set of hyperparameters, which is a separate topic which I'll be discussing next. We evaluate or assess candidate models in order to choose the best one. This is model selection. While testing the chosen model based on the given dataset is called model assessment. A good model, may have following characteristics, like it should meet the requirements and constraints of the project stakeholders. It should be presentable in respect to time and resources available. A model that is skillful as compared to naive models. A model that is skillful related to other tested models. A model that is skillful related to the state of the art. The best models often require sufficient data, which actually is infinite depending on the complexity of the problem. While evaluating a model, we usually divide the dataset into three separate sets: training, validation, and test sets. The fitting of the model is done on the training set, the evaluation is done on validation, and the report of metrics is done on the test set. Scikit-Learn is a library which eases this process, and selects the best model, and also it is used for hyperparameter tuning. Hyperparameter selection. These are actually some parameters which are not affected by the machine learning algorithm and are usually set by the programmers, that is us. For example, in decision trees, the depth of the tree, and in artificial neural networks, the number of layers is a hyperparameter. So they can affect the efficiency of the algorithm by many moons. There are basically four methods for choosing hyperparameters. For, um, First one being the manual search. It involves the choosing a certain set of hyperparameters and then repeating the process over different sets until you either run out of time or run out of resources. Second one is grid search. It involves searching over a particular range of hyperparameters which you have found using the given knowledge of the problem. Random search. It includes just selecting a random set of hyperparameters among the range you have set in the grid search method. And then comes the Bayesian optimization, which is nowadays a topic of research. It involves gaining information from previous experiments and then using it in the next experiments. Thank you for watching the video.